Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Adonai, and through the magic of green screen technology, we are in Rick's Cafe from the movie Casablanca. On my immediate left, we have Mr. Taj. He is sitting in with us today, and on my further left, we have Shua, who is sitting in with us today. Thank you, gentlemen, for being part of this cafe here.
Thank you.
And then, affectionately behind me, our aging rocker, Emmett. Emmett, you want to start us off again?
Heavenly Father, again, bless our time together in Jesus' name.
Thank you. All right. And this time, we'll start off with you. Taj?
Yes.
I will ask again, where are you from?
I am from Missoula.
You're from Missoula.
Yep, I'm from this great family.
You grew up here in Missoula?
I'm born and raised, left, went to Renton.
Good for you. All right, and Sheila, where are you from?
I'm from Renton, Washington.
Washington, okay, that's excellent. How long have you been in Missoula, or I should say Montana?
I've been in Montana since September 11th.
What year, September 11th?
2001.
Oh, you mean the September 11th?
Well,
okay, all right, well, that's a coincidence. And behind you is Emmett, and this time, Emmett, if you have some questions you want to ask.
I really don't have any, actually.
All right, we'll get to it. We'll get to this here in a little bit.
But I would have a question, however, for
Yes.
you. We're
Sure.
on the set of Casablanca again.
Yeah, we'll talk about
What
the
is
synopsis.
Casablanca? What was it?
All right, Casablanca is the name of the town that they were in.
Mm-hmm.
And
This is a movie, right?
Algeria,
yeah, this
right?
is a movie.
Or
Humphrey
Algiers.
Bogart.
Yeah, this is
Algiers?
okay, let's talk about the synopsis of this film here. The name of this film is called Casablanca, and Humphrey Bogart's character, he was on his way to the altar before he opened up this cafe and before he went to Casablanca, the town. Anyway, his fiancée stood him up, and she never showed up when they were going to get married.
Mm-hmm.
This was the following day. So like any person that gets stood at the altar, they're hurt. They're devastated.
Heartbroken.
Yeah, so he goes to
Confused.
Casablanca. He goes on to open up this Rick's Cafe, and this was during wartime. But,
World War I, if I'm not mistaken.
well, it doesn't actually say in the film. They just say war times.
War times.
Yeah,
It
but
does give it
in
the
the,
feeling
in the
like it's
film,
set up
in the
there.
film.
World
Well,
War I.
we can't say the literal World War I,
Totally.
World
No,
War
no.
II. But if you go with this film here, it's war times.
Certainly.
So anyway, his fiancée had married, and so the husband, I think, was assigned to Casablanca area. And so he gets reacquainted with the girl he was supposed to marry, and he didn't want to have anything to do with her because he was hurting. And so she needed a favor. She needed Rick to save her husband's life. And he didn't want to do it at first,
Of course.
because that would be very tough
Tough.
to do, you know, if you,
The woman you love,
yeah,
her husband.
right.
Yeah. A lot of
But
reconciliation.
he does the right thing, and he ends up saving the husband and his fiancée, and he makes sure that they get off of that island safely. But see, the movie dealt with his pain, and you know, his healing process, and what she had to go through, because she was 32, because she still loved him, but she couldn't marry him. And so in the film, when it turns out that she confessed that even though she was married, she still loved him, that helped him to heal.
Wow, I got a different message the second time you said it than the first time you said it. Really, I'm actually really thankful that we had to hear it again because
Well,
I
yeah, mistakes happen, but anyway, this was quite the film. And then, of course, the actor that played the pianist in this film, his name was Sam. Now, his real life name was Dooley Wilson, but his character's name was Sam.
Dooley
Remember that
Wilson.
line?
That's
Play it
a
again,
name.
Sam.
That's a good name.
Yeah,
Vaguely.
because there was some scenes in there where, you know, when Humphrey Bogart was in pain, he would have Sam play a certain song.
Yeah, the one song.
The one song, and I'm going to play it for you right now. It's called Time Goes By. And I'm going to try to get it right this time.
I think Montavani covered this, or maybe it was played on the Lawrence Welk show. That's what it was, on the Lawrence Welk show. That was where I heard this. That was it. Maybe Montavani covered it too. I don't remember.
You recognize that melody?
I do.
Or was it even on a TV show or something? I can't remember.
This is just a kiss.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, Kiss is just a Yeah. I think it was on Lawrence Welk too.
There you go. It's a short version of that song.
Very nostalgic. I could see how he was dealing with his pain.
Yeah, and but it had a really good ending because he was able, through his pain, to do the right thing. And of course, he ends up saving his own life and saving his business and so on. The cafe.
Yeah, like a selfless act.
Yeah, it was difficult, but he did because they even kissed.
Well,
they
like
had one last kiss. It was kind of like a passionate kiss, but it was an honest kiss. But then he knew that she had to go back to her husband. Not a goodbye kiss. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Goodbye kiss.
And they showed all that in the film. And that reminds me of that Tom Hanks film. Did you see that, the one with Wilson? Yeah.
Yeah,
You remember that movie?
Yeah, I was
Castaway.
thinking
Castaway, yeah. They had a scene similar to that at the end of that movie. Remember Tom Hanks' wife went on to remarry?
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets off that island and they
he's in
get
the hotel.
reacquainted and they shared a moment kiss, and then all of a sudden Hank's character says, "It's time for you to go back to your husband now."
Yeah.
And he did the right thing and pushed her back to the family.
And then he delivered that package that he had on.
Yeah, and you know,
The wings.
you know, when you're in a situation like that, for real, if you have a goodbye kiss, you don't have to tell.
We don't know.
You don't have to like tell the other husband, "Well, we had a goodbye kiss." It's just good to just a way of saying goodbye. Just let sleeping dogs lie. But both of those movies had that theme where there were two lovers, but it was time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And especially in this film here. And like I stated, Bogart's character saves the lives of the husband and his fiancée, ex-fiancée.
No, Casablanca's way more deep than Castaway for sure.
Well, yeah, you
Yeah,
can't really
Castaway's
compare
kinda-
Castaway with this, but
Well, what's interesting is how you said that is because my judgment is when you said the piano player's name, it reminded you of Wilson too a little bit in the movie Castaway because all I
Right.
could think about was Wilson.
yeah, but see, Wilson was like that volleyball.
No, I
just to keep
understand.
his
No,
sanity,
totally.
You know?
No, it was just the name recognition that kind of
I
was
mean,
like,
Right. So,
it's pretty uncanny.
uh-huh.
I don't know why there was even that comparison to me, but I thought it was like.
Well, this movie is a classic.
Maybe the
It's
director
a
of
classic
Castaway
here.
was trying to remake
Oh,
Casablanca.
interesting. That's
Yeah.
man, that could
Yeah.
be.
But
a
that-
good-
that's-
well, because creative artists are always
Yeah.
pulling from different
Yeah.
bodies of work and putting
All
it
the
in
time.
there.
Well, you know, they
to
always
the
have
audience.
remakes of television shows and
For
movies,
sure.
and sometimes I think they should leave well enough alone, in
I
my
agree.
opinion.
Yeah, true.
And if they're going to do a remake, they need to do it in the context of the remake that they're doing. They shouldn't get
Absolutely.
all too fancy and changing everything because then it destroys it.
Yeah,
But there are-
but Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is a remake of the Odyssey.
Odyssey. It's
and
taking
that's
archetypal
pretty
forms.
good.
All right, and well, let's talk about some remakes here. You guys familiar with the television show Lost in Space of the 60s with Jim
Yeah,
Lockhart?
yeah.
You remember that? Will
Yeah.
Robinson and all?
Lost
Well,
in
you know,
Space.
they did a remake
Danger,
of Lost
Will
in
Robinson.
Space.
The movie?
Yeah, with
Horrible.
the actor William Hurt.
Yeah, I
What do you
didn't
think
care
of
much
that?
never
for it
saw it.
either.
Movie horrible.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
now I'm not picking on William Hurt. I've never met him. And
Yeah.
I did like the movie, but there were just too many things in this
Oh, yeah,
movie that
yeah.
didn't seem consistent with the television show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm talking about. If they're going to do remakes, they have to, tie in with the original. to
Yeah,
make it
or
work.
completely change them.
Well, no.
But you
And
don't
just
want to
'cause-
overchange
Well,
it.
think
Yeah.
about
you
what
know?
remakes are. They're the same
They're
story
updated
being
versions,
told by
yeah.
humans for thousands and thousands of years.
But
So we got
still-
like Romeo and Juliet stories all day long, and
Uh-huh.
every culture you could think of. So and we
Which you
make
could
those
equate
into
probably
movies.
some of
All right,
the-
let's have
some
fun
of-
with Romeo and Juliet.
Well, how
Well, you
fast?
might even see Romeo and Juliet in
I'm sure we
Casablanca
do.
with the archetypal.
You got it going on in there. Some
How-
of it.
Because we're all playing it. What's that, Emmett?
How fast
Yeah.
can you say the remake of Battlestar Galactica?
Battlestar Galactica.
I loved the old one from the 70s with the Cylons and the lasers. The new one they made in the year 2000 was, I thought, appalling. I was so disappointed by that new Battlestar Galactica. They didn't have lasers. They just have like bullets.
See,
and
that's what I'm
some-
talking about.
Yeah.
And-
If you're going to make a remake, it should be at least consistent with the
Yeah,
original.
yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree with that? That there should
Well,
be some kind of
I
consistency?
don't know if
to a
I
certain
agree.
extent.
I mean, I agree, but then you still gotta make it exciting and new.
You gotta.
Well,
You know,
yeah,
you're gonna
you
wanna
gotta
tell
add
the
a
same
and I know they
story
take
exactly.
artistic
Yes.
license, but
Like,
you know.
think about the remake Beauty and the Beast, the new
Okay.
one, right? Have you
Yeah.
watched it?
I have seen
So it's
parts
exactly like the cartoon,
of it. Right.
Almost.
Okay.
They changed it up a little bit,
Well,
but
yeah, they're gonna
it's
update
exactly
it. Yeah,
like
they're
a cartoon.
updating
So it's
it,
best.
but-
It's basically what you were saying is that they need to make it based
Right.
on the whole thing or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But in a way, I already watched Beauty and the Beast when I was a little kid. I don't need to watch it again as I'm an adult. The same one.
I
you
understand
know,
you. Yeah,
make it more
that's,
interesting.
That's a good point. And 20 minutes have already gone
Yeah.
by. I told you this is going to go by real quick.
My problem with the new Battlestar Galactica, it just didn't have the science fiction flavor and the beautiful lasers and the beautiful special effects of the 1970s one. It was not even branded. This is not your father's Battlestar Galactica that was
Right.
geeky and cheesy. This is for a mature audience, distinctive and refined and serious about it, and it lost all its science fiction fun.
All right,
Oh, I
gentlemen,
agree.
let's-
And it kind of, you know,
Let's
sterile.
Let's play Name
Sterile?
That Tune.
Sterile.
No, I know
Name That
that.
Tune?
That's fine. That's fine.
Name that too.
We're going to play Name That Tune here. Now, before we start, I just want to play Painted Black for you guys as a gift.
Oh.
I'm going to play it all the way through, no guessing or whatever, and then we'll get with the game.
Hey, thank you.
Ready, Emmett?
Ready?
I'm going to play it all the way through for you. Feel free to sing.
I don't know the lyrics. I don't even know what they painted black.
It was a door, red door.
Why did they paint it black?
Well, I think it's metaphoric. I think it was like, you know, there was a lot of occultism going on in a lot of that music back in the day.
That's true.
Well, and
Well,
a
I
red
al-
door means good luck.
I always thought it meant something about the Vietnam War or something.
Yeah, that's what I
That-
thought.
That was, yeah, who knows?
Everything's all mixed up in metaphor. And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going
It's
to stop on that note right there. So, that gives you an idea.
What was
All
that
right.
last note, by the way?
Just a high B.
High B.
I just slide up the scale like high B. Whoops, I read it again. No, I don't think that. I think that was more related to the war.
Yeah, probably.
I think so. But anymore, it's hard
Yeah.
to like if you look at Lonely Heart, the Beatles' Lonely Heart, Pepper Sergeant Hart band.
Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Mhm.
And all kinds of weird esoteric stuff from like Aleister Crowley, and it's like, why? What was?
But that was that time period
Yes.
there and so on. All right, let me think of a tune here, guys. We can't use Painted Black, but I just wanted to play a piece of that for you to get the game started.
Yeah.
Now, the first one of you two to get 2 points wins, and Emmett, you could be the
Okay.
scorekeeper.
2 points.
2 points,
Here we go.
2 bits.
What do we win?
That's
2
cola
points.
right there.
Yeah, the cola.
For
It's
high
a
fructose
refresh.
corn syrup.
Ready?
Quick dose of cancer.
Dose of cancer.
Oh man, I know this one.
Problem is, I don't know this one. Yeah.
Oh, it's Cat's
Cat's in the
Eagles?
Cradle.
There you go.
I think
Cats in the Cradle.
Well, you said the name. I said the name of the, and you said
We're
the
like a
name.
team
So we're
anyways.
teams.
Yeah.
Well, that was
'Cause
kinda-
there's no
we'll call
competition.
that one
One,
even.
one.
Yeah,
we'll call
yeah,
that,
yes.
We'll call that even.
Both got 1 point.
I'm brought
All right,
back
we'll
to the
give him 1
conversation
point.
in the T&C about no competition and competition.
Oh, yeah, you remember
No
that?
competition.
That was a great
That was Cat in the
conversation.
Cradle.
Cat in the
That's
Cradle.
piano version
You know
of
what's
Cat in the
interesting about that is that song. I am the music instructor for the media arts program in Hamilton,
Cradle. Okay.
and we actually redid that song.
Really?
So with the kids, and the kids were actually singing, and the foundation actually gave us permission to use it too. So
Excellent.
I find it actually kind of synchronistic that you actually played that right now.
All right, here's another song here. Okay, you guys got a yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't do it all the way through because we're for time's sake.
Yeah.
Just little morsels. I know what this one is really well. No
I know it. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
I don't know what it is either. You've played it before, but I can't remember the name.
Is it?
I'm gonna stop right there. Anybody know what time it is? The group Chicago.
Oh man,
yeah,
I knew
yeah.
it.
You recognize
Right
that?
there. I know that song.
I recognize
Well,
that.
that's what's fun about
I
playing
just
Name
couldn't
That
think
Tune.
of the
You
name.
know, they had a game called Name That
Yeah,
Tune.
yeah.
You know, in the '70s, I think it was. Jim Lang
Yeah.
was the host. And it was always fun watching that because people would be like, "Oh, I've heard that song. I heard that song.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
think of it," and stuff like that. It was
My
just so
dad was
intense.
like one of those drill sergeants. What's that name? What's the name of this song? Who wrote it?
Yeah.
What year did it come out? What album was it on?
That's
All
how you
right,
ask
gentlemen.
questions like that?
Yeah.
I
Let's
never
try.
visited
Let's try
Chicago.
this again.
When we're in the car.
Let's try this again. See
Classic
if you know this
rock
one.
radio.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh, Batman.
Nope.
No.
James Bond.
Then, oh, James Bond. Good God.
Is it?
Na-na-na-na. Oh no.
Oh, it's Stranger.
I'm gonna stop on that note there. That was Secret
Secret
Agent Man.
Agent
Yeah,
Man.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do the five minutes.
Secret
Yeah, almost had it.
Agent. Oh, that's almost like Humphrey Bogart. He's almost kind of like a
He's
secret
like a secret
agent.
agent.
He's working with different
Well,
factions.
yeah.
He's helping people out with their
Yeah.
papers. Hey, you
Just
remember
wants
in
to
there?
sell Turkish coffee, really.
Well,
I mean, that's really what he's trying to do. So,
I got
I
it.
mean, think about it.
Make a coffee.
Coffee's
He's selling
gold
liquor.
mine.
He's selling liquor.
There
It's
you
a
go.
cafe, but they're selling.
Well,
liquor.
it's
I
1-1,
mean, of
gentlemen.
course.
We'll have to just keep
Why?
doing this until one of you gets the point.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You remember that one scene in Casablanca where he says, "Where's your papers? Where's your papers?"
Yeah, that was in there too.
That was
That
probably the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because you saw the
Where's your
tenseness, and it
papers?
was like, oh my god, because it reminds you of a totalitarian
Hey, didn't we
two-step.
talk about this a couple months ago?
No, that was Tommy 2 times in Goodfellas. Hey,
Oh,
I'm
2
gonna go get
times.
the papers, get
All
the
right,
papers.
I'm gonna
gentlemen.
get the papers.
Here we go for song number 2.
Here we
I
go.
like how we can correlate all
Oh, Sweet Little Wonders. Won't you be mine?
these movies.
Won't
Whoa,
you be
yeah,
mine?
there you go. Won't you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Won't you be my? Oh, Mr. Rogers.
There you go. Yeah,
There you go.
it's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
He said that. You're the winner.
We're winning chicken dinner.
Hey, I won.
All right, so you can say you won.
Both
You won
won.
Asaph
We're
Cafe's.
We're winning. Yeah.
What do you call it? Yeah.
We get a bag of
name
chips.
that tune.
Yeah.
That's what we get, a bag of chips.
Very true. Hey, did you know it was interesting that we came in here because I was returning some film gear,
Mhm.
and me and Schwa, we've been writing pilot episodes to our show that we're doing. So that
Wow.
And that's what brings you here to the MCAT studio for.
No, I asked.
That's why we came in? Well,
yeah, well,
I
it was
mean,
dual. Yeah,
The universe wanted
yeah,
us.
the universe,
Okay.
The gods.
the God's creator.
You know,
It's a film project you guys are doing.
we're doing a film movie.
project,
show.
Is that set up through the
Film and a
university?
pilot. Nope.
No.
Oh, it's just on your own.
Privately funded
Yeah.
by our own insanity.
Well, you're in a good organization to help you put that together. This MCAT studio,
Oh,
they
for
do
sure.
some great work.
Well, that's why I brought. I was like, man, Schwa, have you seen the spot down here? So
Yeah, I'm
I
all
was like,
sat in
okay.
the car and just tweeted on my phone.
In fact, to tell you how great this television network is, I created a remake of the Lawrence Welk show about 2 years ago, and it got picked up by PBS for real.
Oh, right on!
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Hey,
So
yeah.
you never know, your show
Congratulations.
may
Yeah.
get picked up.
Hey, I
Hey,
hope. I
yeah.
mean, if not, we just get to have some fun.
Yeah.
You know, spread some existential,
I
like,
understand, yeah.
mind-numbing love.
But see, the
Right.
thing is, whatever, filmmakers come in and out of the
Seeds
studio
of
all the
revolution,
time,
evolution.
and you
Plant
never
the seeds.
know where their projects are going to
For
go.
sure. Hey, are you familiar with Reggie Watts?
I've heard the name.
Good man, Reggie Watts is from Great Falls, and he ended up now he's on the Late Show. So he's
Is he is that the
He's the brother with the
pianist
afro.
with
Yeah.
he's on Late Night with James Corden,
Yeah.
I believe.
And we're gonna put him on our show unbeknownst to him.
Yeah.
Really?
We actually
Yeah,
did
just
it,
like
yeah.
You
like,
have a way of contacting
Well,
him.
see,
right?
check this out. We're
no.
part of the.
Well, he was here in
the Beat
Missouri
City.
about
what
a
was
year
it?
ago.
We're part of the Beatnik City Council.
Okay.
You know, so we talked the first order
Every
of business.
Thursday is Flippers.
was
Well,
we
I
were-
sure hope you guys get him on because
Well,
you get him on.
no, we wanted to
that'll
make-
boost your show.
Well, the
out
thing
there.
is the first order of business was to support street artists and to support people that are doing their art out here in the streets, not on the side of the walls. We're not. Yeah, we
You know, another thing
Maybe
you
on
might
the wall.
consider too
Got
is
the
entering
walls
yeah,
your.
or with chalk.
You can enter your film into the film festivals that
Yeah.
happen in Missoula.
Yeah.
I was in one of those and I wound up winning. I won Best Documentary in 2013.
Did you really?
So that's good for you.
Congratulations.
Over here.
Well, I have
Man.
to give Marshall Granger the credit. He was the director of this documentary.
What's his name?
Marshall Granger.
Oh, Marshall, he knows Rizzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know him.
Marshall
I know
did,
him.
yeah,
We know-
he did a documentary on me,
We're
and that thing
connected.
wound up
Well,
winning
really?
Best Documentary.
Well, here, let me
I was
shake your
shocked
hand, sir.
because
Good work.
this is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You know, I think Marshall is a fine filmmaker.
Yeah.
And he had this vision of what he wanted
For sure.
when he was doing this documentary on me, the Asaph the pianist. And he had another director at the time, and they had artistic differences. You know how these
For sure.
directors are.
It's like too many cooks in the stew.
Yeah, so the second director left the project, and Marshall stayed on course, and he wound up winning.
Man, right on. That's
Cool.
good.
And it was just really amazing. And I was speechless because I saw those documentaries, and I didn't go to that to say, okay, I want mine to win. These were really good documentaries. Like they were talking about street performers, street
Yeah, for sure.
artists and stuff
Yeah.
like that, what you guys are talking about. And it worked.
Yeah.
But when it won the Magic City short when he
What,
entered
Billings?
Yeah, the one.
Oh, word. Hey, that's
And
so
I was like,
This is going to be a short. Our pilot's going to be short.
Yeah.
And so I'm just telling you this story so that you guys can, encourage you. You have the facilities here at
thanks.
MCAT. These guys will hook you guys up and help you with
We need
editing
help.
and filming. And you can talk to Scott Ramf. He's excellent at that.
Well,
he's like the
yeah,
best.
it's just like what you're doing, Asaph. We want to mix music and art. And
Well, this show here, the
poetry.
premise of this show is just an impromptu,
No, I hear you. Yeah.
talk thing. So,
Which
like,
is pretty
this
cool because
was-
we
really
impromptu
cool.
were
We-
late for
yeah.
bringing back a camera,
We-
and now we're on your show.
On
Yeah,
your
but
show.
see, being on
Yeah,
this
it's
show,
pretty cool.
this is part of your in-cat
Yeah.
experience, and you can probably
Yeah.
use it as a resume too.
Yeah.
For when
Yeah,
you're
very
doing your own television shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see, there's a lot of ways to look at it, and plus, when this gets posted later, and they see you on Casablanca,
Well, you know what I feel I want to do creatively with this is I'm going to figure out how to remix something from Casablanca because I'm a musician. In
Uh-huh.
fact, next week, Saturday the 10th, I'm playing at the Top Hat.
Okay.
I headline in the Top Hat. I have 3 albums
Excellent.
out. I've been really grinding on it. First album's Paradigm Shift. Second was Sweatshop Sneakers. Third Soul Dream.
Okay.
February 10th.
But see, this is my point. You guys are at the right place at the right time because, like, with Emmett's
Do you
show,
still want me to do a song with you?
they can help you. They really
Get
can.
close to the.
Yeah.
Let's
get close.
we got to talk.
And you guys are at the right place. You'll have access to editing equipment,
Yeah.
filming, cameras.
For sure.
Just like when I did that Lawrence Welk show, I have to show a piece of it.
I
when
wonder,
this is
we have
over.
to come over and hang out, eat some popcorn, and
Man.
drink some coffee.
Now
Good idea.
this cafe,
Good
the reason
idea.
I do this is just a local, just to keep my chops up. But when we
Right,
did that
we see
new
those
Lawrence
are-
Welk show, that was well planned. I had a script
There
written
you
for
go.
that.
Yeah.
We had 3 cameras there,
Yeah.
and it was shot at the Florence Hotel. This was
Oh.
the real thing.
That's
Fun.
nice.
Yeah, and we
Wow.
had Mayor John Ingen on too.
Yeah, Mr.
Mayor?
Hamilton?
The mayor
Yeah,
was
there,
on it. And
there.
the reason I
I'm
asked
running
him
for
to be
mayor.
on it is because he had the
Vote
name.
for
Schwab.
Yeah, vote for
He
Schwab.
had the name
And the
for
president.
for if we go outside of Missoula,
Uh-huh.
like if you get Reggie Watts on your show.
Man, I love to have Reggie Watts on the show. So we ended up doing a stencil for Reggie. We paid some money for it, got a nice little stencil done, and we were going to give it to him when he was here.
Well, if you give him a
We're gonna
copy,
put the
Reggie-
stencil in the
give
show,
him,
Reggie, we're
Reggie.
gonna put and then we're gonna get you that stencil.
give him a link and let him
And
see
you
you guys
making
on.
moves out there.
Anytime
Let
you
him
want,
see
give
you
us
on.
a
Let
call.
him see you on the cafe too. See anything
sure.
you can use this as a resume once you get your DVD later at the end of this show.
Dude, we can mail it.
We got about
Dude,
20
here.
minutes left, gentlemen.
good. Man, mail you.
Can I tell you? Because I have to
Sure,
share
go
this
ahead.
story. Because
Sure.
I had a dream the other night, and I dreamed that I was in my bus, right? But somebody else was driving my bus, but it was a shorter bus, kind of like short bus, but not really short bus.
All right.
And then I looked out the window, and then in the back, it was Reggie Watts and his driver. But Reggie Watts was driving. He had a big afro right here, and he's just rolling with some glasses on. And I was like, yo, Reggie's behind us. And we pulled over,
Uh-huh.
and I jumped out, and I was like, man. And then I went and saw that he had a front tire that was flat, left front tire. And then all of a sudden, Reggie Watts' man was there, and the driver was in the seat of Reggie Watts. And I was like, man, where's Reggie? He goes, he went over there. I said, man, what's up? I'm tired. Boom, dream done.
Done dream. Man,
Kadoosh
you know,
Well, good luck to you
Maybe
guys.
that
I hope
means
that works
something.
out for you.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
know
dream.
about the dream aspect, but I would encourage you guys to follow your dream.
Mm-hmm.
Get the movies
Yeah.
made. Get those documentaries made.
Yeah.
Come to this MCAT studio. Let these guys help you. Help,
Come on, get on
They got a
TV.
whole
Yeah,
staff.
yeah.
Get on television. Get
have our
exposure.
own show right here.
And you're on this show here. This is part of your MCAT experience.
Oh,
you know,
totally. You
stuff
guys,
like
I
that.
feel like
So-
you guys are introducing us to a different world. And I'm actually, it's interesting looking at the Casablanca in the background.
Well, you just fortunately.
I really
found
like
us here.
looking at
I do too. I'm almost feeling like might have to blow up that scene right there and get it up somewhere in my house.
Frame it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be a nice picture.
It might be a frame, but what if you put it up like that? You just plastered
Paint the
it
whole
your-
thing on the
Well,
wall.
yeah, if you once you get your DVD
I
or
like
whatever,
this
or
scenery.
once it gets posted, you can do whatever, But my point that I'm making is, Reggie Watts sees you guys on this show here, and on Casablanca, it might open a door for you.
Man,
You
Reggie
might look
Watts
at that
sees
and
you,
say,
it might open a
Oh,
door.
I'm not
too.
worried
You'd be
about
like,
me. He's a fine tennis in his own right, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying that, for.
No, he's just a creative collaborator. That
I
would
understand.
Be like, hey man, come on, jump on the.
But see, I was focusing on you guys. If
Oh,
you
I
guys are the
appreciate
young
that.
filmmakers,
Right
you know
here.
what I'm saying? So-
Okay, thank you. Bring it back. Okay, so let's just go. Tell us again.
No,
what were you
no,
doing?
really. I mean, you don't know where this is going to lead.
No,
I
you
mean,
never know.
This is part of your impact experience.
You know where we
so
want.
this
You know
is
where
what
I want to
appreciate.
go
And
with
it's
that.
good for my
I
show.
appreciate it. I'm like,
I appreciate
I'm
that.
excited talking to you about this stuff.
And it's fun. It's always fun when we get like guests on here. And let me tell you the history of this show real quick. See those two brick walls on your left?
Yes.
I literally had those two brick walls and a table in the middle when I
Yeah.
first created this cafe. That was it. And I thought, my first reaction was, oh man, no one's gonna watch this. And I was wrong.
Yeah.
People started watching. And about a few months later, we went from 2 walls to 3 walls. And at that time, I used to go downtown and just grab people at random.
On the street.
Yeah.
Bring them out here. Yeah.
But as this show started evolving, it started becoming too difficult to just grab people spur of the moment. So I had to start inviting people. And then it just grew, this show.
That's cool.
And so I'm really humbled by that. And then, of course, by the time we got to the green screen technology,
Yeah.
the rest is history. So see, that's kind of a flyover of the history of
sure.
this show. So now you guys are on Casablanca, which is this
Yeah, we're on
is a
Casablanca.
beautiful set.
Oh.
If you think about it, it just almost looks like we're on that. And that's what I like about this backdrop.
I get it. And there's also just kind of like an interesting archetypal energy that comes from the movie Casablanca. Because
Yeah.
you have this
Well,
individual,
I would
there's all
recommend
these
you guys-
forces, and
Well, I would recommend you guys get a chance to watch this. Get an old VHS
Yeah, we should go
movie.
watch it.
let's do it.
or
The
something.
internet's
And really,
easy.
really, yeah. It should. It's probably
Yeah.
posted. Everything's on YouTube.
It's probably
these
on
days.
Netflix.
They probably got the whole movie. Yeah,
All
Netflix
over.
or whatever. Yeah.
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 But this is a movie that I think you two will really appreciate from a plot line and
We figure out how to become
just
black
a
and
whole.
white. So we can like right in.
Now this might interest you too. We could have made ourselves in black and white like this film too.
Yeah.
But I
Got a
think that's
button?
better to
Push-
have
we can push the
color.
button right now.
Somebody
and go
push the
back
button.
And forth.
Nah.
It's too late now. It has to be at the beginning. It has to be at the beginning.
Black and white button.
Look, it almost looks like
But
you push the Coke button.
I think it looks better when you have color against black and white, in my opinion.
Oh no, I totally agree. And I wouldn't like
You
say
know.
like let's have it through the whole thing, but if you would like push.
We can't do that
No, I
with
get
the
it.
way this is
I
set up.
totally
That
understand.
once- Yeah,
You just
maybe
bring-
NBC can do it.
No, you're just
but-
bringing up ideas for just different things that are kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hey, doesn't this remind you of Indiana Jones? That kind of character too.
Yeah,
Like-
let's play that here. I haven't done it in a
Remember when it was
while.
like Indiana Jones. Remember when she grabs the crazy German dude grabs the piece of metal.
Oh, dude, when they're in Mongolia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She her and she
Oh,
drank everyone
that
under the
scene.
table.
Yeah, she drank them all under the table.
I
But she
played
didn't
that for you
drink
guys.
any.
You missed it.
I heard it. No, I really actually keep went along with what I was saying. It was oh, what was the little boy?
I liked the
Dr.
first
Jones.
2 Indiana
Dr.
Jones movies,
Mr.
but the third one and the fourth one I thought were really bad.
That's how I feel about the Matrix minus the fourth. The first and the second were good.
Well, you know, it's
The third
interesting
was
talking
good.
about
And
these
the
movies.
Animatrix
Like,
kicked ass.
I didn't
some
see
people
it.
will like the original, and some will like, maybe number 2 or 3. I think that's kind of iffy too.
you guys watch
Some
the
movies
newest
are
one?
so
What
good
newest
that
what?
they should be left alone.
Indiana
I
Jones?
Yeah,
think.
yes,
No,
indeed.
I
I
totally
think,
agree. But you gotta make money and they throw it
Agreed.
out
Well, I
there.
know, but you know,
Harrison
some-
Ford's got to do something.
Some could be so classic,
They
Yeah.
killed
you
him.
don't want to
Star Wars.
destroy it.
Exactly.
Remember the last one though, where the Mayan skulls, the crystal
Oh,
skulls?
that was awful. That was
I
so
know, you
cheesy.
They had a
good
green
about it.
screen behind it the whole time.
But what was
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
about it is they told the story about the crystal skulls, but those crystal skulls are very interesting. They're
Yeah.
almost like the Sasquatch.
Oh, that
Well, they put them
movie
all
was
together,
so
it's like
cheesy.
Sasquatch?
Quartz.
But
You
see,
know-
that's the point is that
Man, speaking of movies, there's a new movie coming out called, I don't know what it's called, but it's about Yetis.
Yetis?
Oh, it's called Littlefoot.
I don't know. I never heard
And
of
it's
that.
about the Yetis thinking humans are not real.
Hey, wait, that almost sounds like the Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston in a way.
And they're afraid of Littlefoot.
Think of that. Did you guys see the Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston?
Yeah,
The old one?
Yeah, old
Hey,
school.
that's another one where this
Old
new one actually was almost as good as the old one because the first one I really enjoyed.
But think
The
about
remakes
it.
were great.
Think of the reverse you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
You know, like they had their own laws, the apes. They had
Yeah.
their own Bible. They had their own city. So
They had
they
their own
believed.
Bible?
Yeah, they did. So they believed that
From
that
a holy
God-
book?
So was
Yeah.
Charleston Heston the main? He was the main.
He was the main character, but let's talk about this Bible for a second.
Yeah.
Now, it's not Bible in the
Ape
sense of the
Bible.
King James.
Wasn't he in the
but
Bible?
it's-
What movie was he?
you know, it
Ape
worked
Yes.
because of the reversal.
Yeah.
So they believed that God created the ape in his own image.
Yes.
And that men didn't have souls.
Yeah.
I found that very interesting.
Oh.
Brilliant science fiction
Oh, it
writing.
is.
Do you
It's
believe? Do you
brilliant.
believe in Darwinism to its full teeth? Do you
No,
believe
I
we
don't.
came from
No.
apes?
No, I don't.
No.
But, you know, the Planet of the
I don't
Apes
either.
film.
Neither do the apes.
No. The point I'm making is with this film, though, it was interesting, brilliant writing from a reversal point of view.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like how we taxidermy animals,
Yeah.
which is sad.
For sure.
Well, they were taxidermy humans in the Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
Were they
you know-
really?
Yeah, you remember that
I
scene?
remember that
You remember that
scene?
scene
Yeah.
when Heston escapes and he's running through that church and that funeral, and his African American friend, you know, with eyes, they taxidermied him, and they had that music, da 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 da, and then all of a sudden you hear this gun, because the apes were chasing Heston's character, because he could talk.
Oh,
But
they
he
were
was shot in
hunting
the
him
throat.
down.
Yeah, they were hunting him.
No.
Wow, dude, that reminds me of a documentary I watched last night.
But let me finish this point here. Just when they capture him, you know, they capture him,
Yeah.
and he says, "Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape." That
Yeah.
was the line in the movie.
Well, that's the line he used for the guns. My dead hands.
Yeah,
Back
but
to my
see,
dirty dead ends.
the thing where I'm going with that is the science fiction aspect.
Right.
That's brilliant writing. If you think it's just like that movie you were talking about, and that's what made me think of.
You know what? Yeah.
Planet of the Apes.
You
just
know
a
what's interesting
reversal.
about science fiction and science fact, and where
What?
science fiction actually meets kind of science fact, is this whole evolution of artificial intelligence.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
AI.
It's crazy.
Now you guys made me think of some more science fiction. Let's talk about Star Trek, the original
Hold
Star
on,
Trek.
I was
with
about to
William
go
Shatner.
off
Oh,
on
go
the
ahead.
AI stuff. Because I'm talking. Because like artificial intelligence is crazy, so they got this artificial intelligence. Her name is Sophia, and they gave her
Yeah.
by Hanson Robots. They gave her Saudi citizenship.
Is that
Saudis
is
gave
that the movie that you're
No,
talking
this
about?
is real life.
Yeah.
No, they
No,
gave her
this is
Saudi
real.
citizenship,
Okay.
and the reason
Look
they
her
gave
up,
her Saudi
Sophia.
citizenship is because you can't be a citizen or you can't make money without being a citizen.
I'll have to look that up. I'm not familiar with that.
Damn, we should put a picture of her behind her.
But let's get back to
Her
Star
and the
Trek.
German
Let's
guy
get,
looks like
back
a
to
total
Star Trek.
Nazi.
let's get back to Star Trek
Holy
for a second.
moons.
I was going,
All right.
we were talking about
Back to Star Trek,
We were
huh?
talking
Start
about brilliant writing. Do you remember the episode? Did you ever see the episode where the creature was black on one side and white on the other side? White on the other side. Did you ever see that episode?
No.
Star Trek?
Star Trek, with William Shatner, the original. They had this
Oh, I remember
episode.
that character, yeah.
There were these two beings.
that-
on
yeah, black
this
and white
planet.
suit.
Now, did he
too.
play? Did they play like a different style of chess? Was
No,
was
no,
that
no,
the
no,
one?
no,
Is
no,
that
no.
what they play in this game? Where
They
it's
were
like,
cre- they
because
were
he was one
creatures.
side like this and
Yeah,
the other
one
side like
side,
this,
yeah,
but there was
yeah.
these pieces that he was moving that were one side like
Well,
this.
they
and one
might have
side.
had a game of chess, but the synopsis of that episode dealt with racism.
Yes.
Oh,
Now,
God.
here's my point.
Mhm.
The ones that were black on the left side
Mhm.
and white on the right side didn't like the ones that were black on the right
Yes.
side and white on the left side.
Interesting.
That was the synopsis
Yeah.
of that
Mhm,
that episode.
mhm. Interesting.
And
Okay.
it won a special science fiction award in real life because it covered that topic. So
Yeah.
the ones that were black on the left side didn't like the ones that were white on the
Got it.
left side. And
When,
so
when,
they
when was that the new generation? The
No,
old
no,
No, no, no, the old
this
school.
is the
The old-
William Shatner
Yeah,
one.
Old
1960s.
school.
Old
I'll have to look
school.
that up.
No
This
green
came out.
screens in those
Yeah, it's
days.
called
like that.
it was the episode was called "Let That Be Your Last Battlefield"
Yeah.
because
Muppets.
they wiped out their whole planet
Interesting.
because they couldn't get past their racial issue.
Exactly.
And that was the message of that episode of Star Trek that they were talking about.
Do you feel like we're in that particular
That
situation?
could happen
right
to
now
this
on our
planet.
Well, maybe not to that degree,
Yeah.
but you know, to have that exaggerated
Yes.
extinction of the
For
whole population. That's sobering when you think about
Can
it.
I ask you a question?
Sure, if I can answer.
If we're talking about that, don't you think that everything has been divided and conquered by certain things to actually create programs inside of us? And if we just all drop the programs, then all of a sudden we'd probably just all just get
That I don't know, but I know
The
one
elitists
thing.
wouldn't be controlling things. They wouldn't be killing people. They wouldn't be doing things
Now that
economically.
I can't answer, but I can say that that episode is something to think about.
Well, that's what brought it up in me. I was like,
Yeah, I understand that, and it's just cool that Gene Roddenberry could use his imagination in a tasteful way to
Interesting.
get a message across.
Yes.
See what I'm saying?
You know what's interesting about the imagination? I go and talk to kids, and I ask the kids. I said, "Who has more imagination, adults or kids?" What do you think they say?
I would say children.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would
And
say
then I say, "Well, what happened to adults' imagination?" And they're like, "Oh."
Unless you're Walt
Yeah.
Disney or
Well, of course.
Gene Roddenberry.
And then what happened to school having imagination and teaching like all their cool stuff like music and math and things that are like together? 'Cause
Okay,
music and
I think
math
I
are
can
the
answer
same
that.
thing.
If you
Or
think
about your
of the
emotions.
They're about dealing with
If
life.
you think of the school system today, music is usually the first that goes. Because
Texas
and
Board of
it's
Education.
always been like that. Music has always been
But it's
considered
like the only thing
non-important
people really always can understand.
in the world of education compared to say math, English, civics, history, that sort of thing. They always chop music off because you probably notice yourself when you say you're a musician. Oh, why don't you get a real job? You always hear those comments.
Oh yeah.
I've heard those
Oh, yeah.
comments
Well,
too.
and
Tell
that's
them
the
you're an
pressure
artist,
of
get it.
society. Yeah, exactly.
Cut your hair, get a job.
Yeah, cut your
Why you
hair,
gotta
get a job.
be?
You're
'Cause
making
it
me
grows
feel
out of my
You see what I'm
face.
saying? And it's like they have this.
Trim it up.
And then
It's
they're
like
like,
the
actually,
culture
I'm really
has this
jealous of your
rule.
life, and I'm big arm. Really, fucking sucks. My life sucks. Oh,
So you know,
Here's a guitar.
yeah.
Quit
Well,
your job.
Sell everything you own.
Get out of debt.
Leave your money with somebody and go somewhere.
Travel.
But anyway, getting back to science fiction, I just want to throw that piece of trivia at you. That was brilliant science fiction writing on Gene Roddenberry's part to tackle a subject.
That is.
Yeah.
Here's another subject that Star Trek covered: the first interracial kiss. Now, it wasn't a kiss in a romantic sense. See, Captain Kirk was on this planet where they had these beings that had these powers that could force you to do whatever they wanted
the
you to do.
scientists.
See?
Yeah.
And so,
Were they green ladies?
no,
No, not those.
No. So if they because of their
Gorgeous,
power,
yeah.
because of their powers, if they so much as get a cut on their hand, they would die.
Yeah.
So the leader of the planet, we got about 10 minutes left, guys.
Yeah.
The leader of the planet accidentally gets himself cut,
Yeah.
and he's dying. So they send for Dr. McCoy, who cures him, right? So they decide they want to keep Dr. McCoy, and
Yeah.
of course, Kirk's going to resist it, and that's where the tension came in. So they had this scene, getting back to this interracial kiss, they had this scene where they were forcing Mr. Spock, who's supposed to be all logical,
Yes.
to kiss
That was
the
a good
nurse.
episode. It was called Plato's Stepchildren.
Yeah,
Yes.
to kiss the nurse, yeah. And so
Plato's
they forced Lieutenant Uhura, the African-American actress, to kiss
Mm-hmm.
Captain Kirk. So what they did, and this is really classic,
Yeah.
when they got to the kiss, he bends down like this with his eyes open, looking at the people that were forcing him to do that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant writing.
It is.
That's very brilliant writing because it took the focus off the romantic side of it and it introduced an interracial kiss.
Yeah. Brilliant.
See, that's brilliant writing because
Because it
you
affects
guys-
the individual by the how they're viewing that. And
Well, yeah,
brings
because
it
you know
more
you
into-
gotta, and I'm old enough to remember. You know, I grew up in the civil rights era,
Yeah.
and that was taboo then. So since Star Trek came out in the '60s, when we were talking about introducing in a tasteful way, that was one of the most tasteful ways to introduce an interracial kiss without stepping on toes.
Yeah.
In that time period, and Star Trek never got any issues with censors and sponsors at that time.
That's good.
Never did.
I wish they would do more. I always see still commercials, and I wish they would do. They're doing more. Like I see it like in print and like in magazines.
But see, another thing that was good about Star Trek was that, you know, it came up at the time with Westerns, like the Rifleman, Gunsmoke, and all those Westerns. You know, ABC, NBC, and CBS, they all had nothing but Westerns in that time period. the Virginian. I don't know if you would know these or not.
No, but I remember
Have
Tonto
Gun Will Travel,
and
the Lone Ranger.
That was
all
my
of
favorite.
those.
I love the Long Ranger.
I did too. But see, getting
Man,
back
I
to
feel
this
like I
point is that Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry didn't want to do a Western. Roy Rogers shoot 'em up, bang bang in space.
Yeah.
That would have been very corny and it wouldn't have worked. So he wanted to do some brilliant writing, which he did, like introducing issues of the time period in a tasteful way,
Love it.
so that it would work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
And it was
why
sci-fi.
Yeah, and in science fiction too. And that is why I think Star Trek is so enduring 50 years later.
Yeah.
It's just as relevant 50 years
What
later.
do you think of the remakes?
You know, that's
They
a
were
very
too
good point.
fancy. In my opinion, I liked them, but they were too fancy. They were too, what's the word?
Politically correct.
Yeah, that's part of it. And,
Yes.
and you
Alright.
got to try to
Not
get
edgy
away.
enough, huh?
Exactly. You hit it right there.
Yeah, it's, and I'm sure the actors that were in these new Star Trek movies are fine people.
Yeah.
But, they're actors, and they have to do a certain thing according to the directors in the script. So, I'm not dogging on the actors. I'm just saying
Oh,
that...
are you talking about the new movies?
The
based
movies,
on...
yeah.
Oh, I love the new
Well,
movies. I thought you meant Star Trek: The Next Generation and Voyager.
Well, okay,
Oh,
let's
okay.
talk about the television part. Star Trek is such a big franchise
Yeah.
because after Star Trek came all the Star Trek television
Oh, yes.
shows,
Uh-huh.
Voyager.
Who's your
which-
favorite director?
You mean for the Star Trek one?
No, just in general.
I don't know.
I
general.
would say, oh gosh, let's see,
Top movie that comes to mind. Or
Abrams, J.J. Abrams, I
Okay.
believe.
Because I love the movies.
He's
Stanley
responsible
Kubrick.
for the...
I love the
Stanley
updated movies
Kubrick.
that they did a few
Kubrick was
years
probably
ago,
mine.
but
I like, man, I
2001
really
Space
like
Odyssey.
Guy Ritchie.
I'll play that for you here. Here, let me give you my version of
Guy
that.
Ritchie. He does,
Space Odyssey, I'll do that for
he
you.
does
Yeah.
Smoking Aces, and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and Snatch. Yeah.
Star Trek: The Next Generation I can watch now. It's an acquired taste. But even some episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation were very PC. And then I really didn't like Deep Space Nine. Voyager I can barely watch.
I like it.
It is so PC.
gonna
Some
stop right there.
episodes are great of Star Trek: The Next Generation, but otherwise, they weren't edgy enough. It was very
Did push
PC.
it.
Yeah,
PC.
they should have pushed it and
Pushed
had more
it a little
science
more.
fiction. They just had
Well,
people,
see, okay, if
Too
the
much.
next
There's too much.
generation, if the
Oh,
next generation had introduced, I think, topics more like the original Star Trek
Yes.
did, it might have worked.
Well, I
better.
think we need to really
See what I'm saying?
bring up like even stronger topics.
Right,
They
exactly.
probably
We'll
could.
keep bringing
But
up the
see,
topics
but
because
Well,
they don't
okay.
ever
the
go
studios
away.
won't let you bring them up because they still have
They're
certain
all bought out.
gatekeeping and they want to keep
Right.
the people divided and conquered within the ideological principles of their own program.
But that's the way television is, and so somebody
That's
like you
who owns
guys have to get
television.
on there and get the control of the network, then you can do what you want.
Yeah.
See?
Become
Remember the
presidents
movie They
network.
Live?
They live.
Just remember, if you ever
They
need
live.
when you guys conquer NBC, if you ever need a pianist, call me. Call me in.
I will. All right,
I will give you a
Man,
call.
it's an honor to be here.
But in the meantime,
Yeah.
Man, that's really cool. To
get
hang
this
out
to
with.
Reggie
Yeah.
Watch. You never
We'll
know
get it to
where
Reggie.
this may crack a door wide open for you guys. You never know. No, seriously,
Man, thank
you never
No,
know.
seriously, I'm like,
Yeah.
And on that note, gentlemen, you got any final things?
Swap
We're out of. We're
Indonesia, bro.
literally
Hey, good
out
to
of
meet you.
time. You have any final words? You have any
Final words.
We're out of time,
Vote
gentlemen.
for Schwa.
All right, I'm gonna make some
Be
introductions
free.
here.
Feel free.
All right, so we're going to sign off here, but before we do, let me make some final acknowledgments. And gentlemen, thank you for
Yeah, thank
being
you.
on this
Yeah.
show. We made it
For
all
sure.
the way
All the
through.
way through.
Yeah.
You guys behaved yourselves.
It's not easy
Seriously.
for us to behave
No.
ourselves.
Seriously.
We're barbarians.
I want to say thank you, and I want to wish you guys well on your
Hey.
endeavors. I'm sure MCAT feels the same way, and you never know. And like I said, before we close, this is part of your MCAT experience, coming in here, being on television, and
Yeah.
getting a experience. And you never know, like I said, where this will lead, or any future projects you do. You never know where it might lead. See,
Never know.
I mean, I never thought I would do the
No.
new Lawrence Welk show that got picked up. So
Mhm.
you never know.
Yeah, I mean,
You never know.
Because frequencies. Once we get to that 5G network, we'll be able to get it out there more.
And everybody
Fifth
loves.
dimension.
Think about it, gentlemen. Everybody loves Casablanca. So when you're seen on Casablanca, this is going to follow you everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Think
It's
about it.
nostalgic.
It's nostalgic.
We're
It's
locked in.
Yeah.
And you two are the only people
The
that have
kids
ever
is
been
just
on
a kid.
Casablanca And you know what's
I'll get up to
rewarding?
Rizzo.
You know what's
What up,
rewarding?
Rizzo?
Roxy.
What's rewarding from my point of view is like, you know, those other images we showed you of past cafes,
For sure.
like being in the Bat Cave with Adam West.
For sure.
I used to watch Batman a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So for me to grow up
Mudslide Charlie.
and
Doug
see
Mountain.
myself on a show that I watched as a kid, that's very rewarding.
Sweatshop sneakers.
And stuff like that. So you never know. All right, gentlemen, let me
Thank
make some
you.
final acknowledgments. On my left
Very,
again,
very honored to be here.
we
Thank
have
you.
Taj on my left here. Thank you once again for being on this
Thank you.
cafe. Thank you. And then we have Shua again. Thanks. And anytime you guys want to be on the show, we tape it every Thursday.
Every Thursday?
Thursday.
Every
Man,
Thursday.
we can
This
come back
show is
every
Hey,
gonna
we
air-
could bring some salsa down with some chips. And
Yeah, and well, I would have brought some normal food, but I didn't have time to prepare because
No,
I was an hour
Some, well, if
late.
we know about it, we'll come down here.
Yeah,
But
next week.
normally we have food, you know, because it is a cafe.
Cafe.
We have like chips and sandwiches, you know,
Yeah,
sandwiches.
you know, we have some good friends like Diana. She would love to be a part of this.
Well,
We
show
got
her
right
in.
here. Be
Show her
like,
in.
You
yeah.
got some friends.
We got some
You
All right,
friends.
hold on.
you
Let me
love.
say this to the television audience. For the television audience, and you know that are watching, or friends of these gentlemen here.
Yeah, that would be funny if they're all watching.
What we do is every week I invite a guest, and they just talk to me as I play the piano, impromptu, no script, like what you guys did today. And so you may have friends and your family or whatever that might want to come on. We've had families on here too. Like we had 2 little boys on here. And so we put them on the set with the Green Hornet and Kato
Oh, that's
because
cool.
they were
That's
kids.
really
they were
cool.
like 8-year-olds.
They give it up to the youth.
Gotta, you know.
So we had Bruce
Helping
Lee
up
and
their imagination.
Van Williams in the
Yeah.
background, and then we had 2 weeks ago we had some high school students from Hellgate,
Oh, Hellgate. I'm Hellgate on.
sophomore, you know, high school,
Yeah.
and so they put themselves on the bridge of the Enterprise with Captain Kirk.
Oh, cool.
That's cool. That's
Which
cool.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, see, my point is, you know, you guys coming in, we'll always have a backdrop
Oh.
for you. Or
You'll
something
be on
like
Space
that.
Ghost, coast to coast.
I did not like Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I hated it. I hated it. That was a remake. Talk about remakes that flopped.
Well,
I
I'll
love the
tell
original
ya.
Space
I
Ghost
would-
from the
Yeah,
60s,
because
but then...
my final words, Em and I, we did put ourselves on the Super Friends, you know.
Yes.
Hey,
Remember
let's
that
be on the
cartoon
Abracadabra.
of the 70s?
Fantastic Four.
Oh, see?
Fine.
Now that
put you on the
can't go on.
Fantastic Four
That
last
can't
time
go
you
on.
guys appeared. Captain
Captain.
Cable, see?
Oh, I'd be so embarrassed if I were up there next to Captain Caveman.
I tell you what,
Like I'm next to Captain Caveman with his brother sometimes.
The next
Every
time you
day.
guys appear, we'll put you on the Fantastic Four. How about
Yeah,
that?
that's fine.
Man,
That's fine.
The
man,
Fantastic
sounds
Four.
good. We'll bring the salsa and chips.
All right.
All right.
Let's sign up because we're literally on the
Decaf
time,
coffee.
guys.
Give
We're
it up
gonna,
to black
we're gonna
coffee.
run out if we don't
We'll
finish
get up to
this
Zen
here.
medicine.
So
We'll
thank
give
you,
it to the Third
thank you,
Street.
gentlemen,
Give it up to the bus.
for
the
being
dojo.
on Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Outline. And again, we have Taj and we have Shua on, and affectionately our aging rocker. You have any final words, Emmett? We're literally out of time.
No, I don't.
All right.
Because of time restraints.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for
Hey,
being
yeah.
on it.
Love
And so
birds.
I'm going to play
Peace.
one last piece of a song, and until our next show, Maranatha. Do you know that song by chance?
I do.
The,
Can I sing it with you?
That's called "This Guy's in Love with You."
Oh, no.
Do you know the words of that?
I do.
You do?
Yeah,
All right, let's do a piece of it real quick.
The sky's in love with you, down to feel your soul. So just let it all wash off and let yourself grow, yeah.
Well, guys, I let you finish that all the way through, but we're literally out of time. Now, what I want you guys to do is don't move until I shut the equipment down.
Okay.
So make yourselves at home.
Sounds good.
And again, ladies and
We don't
gentlemen,
take longer than 10 minutes. We
no,
gotta-
it's just a moment.
We need to get
Until
roasted
our
sandwiches.
next show, Maranatha.
Man, I
Thank
thought I was
you,
gonna go to
gentlemen.
Hot Springs and ended up at MCAT. Emmett, thank you.
Certainly.